The Gotham Knight game has been getting a lot of hate and attention recently because of its choice to have Batman dead from the get-go. We follow his 4 remaining students as they battle throughout Gotham, trying to keep the peace. However, fans are waiting for the Joker to appear in the film, but is he going to show up or not? So, stay tuned to today's video as we discuss why Gotham Knights shouldn't feature Joker without Batman. First up, why exactly shouldn't the game have the Joker? Ever since the Arkham series of Batman games came to an end a few years ago with Arkham Knight, fans have been waiting for a brand new outing into the universe. However, with Rocksteady working on other games, it seemed like the next Arkham game would take a long time to be announced and even release. Of course, we did get some releases in the meantime, with the Arkham trilogy and even some new releases of the games physically and digitally. The version of Batman in the Arkham series was even featured in other projects, such as the comic books and even some animated features. However, fans had still been waiting for something new, more specifically, a brand new game. Sadly, that doesn't seem to be happening, as another game was announced worked on by the same team, but not even in the same universe. That is Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights was announced and fans immediately went crazy when it was revealed the same team who worked on the Arkham games would be working on this new open-world Batman game. The game sounded promising from the get-go, but once we got more details, things started going very sour in the fan base. Rather than this being another Batman game, but fully open world and even multiplayer, it turned out to be an alternate universe where Batman was dead and you got to play as his 4 sidekicks. While playing the game, you could choose between Red Hood, Nightwing, Robin, or Batgirl to explore Gotham and take down its many villains, staying around since Batman's demise. The premise of the game is to protect Gotham now that Batman is gone, and slowly take over as the new Caped Crusaders watching over Gotham. This doesn't sound like the worst thing ever, but once the combat system and progression system was revealed, fans started hating this thing even more. The game has a loot system and a pretty poor one at that, alongside a bunch of costumes that are paid but sadly provide upgrades in the game once you purchase them. The gameplay also looked very shallow, as it was just spamming the square button or whatever button your platform uses for attack. There wasn't much intrigue in this game, and once gameplay was sure, it started to get a small fan base who said they would stick with the game throughout. This seems to happen a lot with games like this. Even Marvel Avengers had a dedicated fan base after it flopped very hard. We've seen many villains so far, such as the Penguin and Mr. Freeze, but one villain has been kept away and fans are wondering if he will even show up in the first place, and that is the Joker. The Joker is one of Batman's biggest and best villains, being the most iconic of them all. The dynamic between the Joker and Batman is one of the best parts about the character, and not having Batman around means the Joker is almost pointless. There's no reason for the Joker to be in this game, and fans have decided that he shouldn't feature at all. There are many reasons for this, but the biggest is that Batman and the Joker are two sides of the same coin. While Joker may be the most famous villain in Batman lore, his place in so many stories is dependent on Batman's willingness to facilitate his evil deeds. In stories like Alan Moore's Killing Joke or Scott Snyder's Death of the Family, Joker exists to get under Batman's skin and even to make him see that their relationship is special, instead of Batman's belief that he's nothing more than a petty criminal and an unapologetic psychopath. The twisted reliance on one another is so very important to Joker's character. So should Gotham Knight include the Crown Prince of Crime? It wouldn't be getting the full force of his wickedness. In so many cases, Batman creates his own villains, and the disputes between him and the likes of Harvey Dent, Scarecrow, Poison Ivy, and the Riddler are unique to him and him alone. Jason Todd may have a long and storied history with Joker, and the latter has been particularly unkind to Batgirl, but it's all been towards the end goal of having an impact on Batman. The Bat family always seems to be collateral damage that Joker doesn't much care for, and Gotham Knights trying to change him into a villain for all heroes wouldn't serve the character's true personality. Other than this, the Joker is pretty overused right now, and also this new game, it really wants to introduce the Court of Owls as its main villains. Having the Court of Owls in this game is phenomenal and a good step in the right direction for this thing, and having the Joker would take away from this. The Court of Owls are one of Batman's biggest and best villains, other than the Joker, as they tore apart what we knew as Batman in Gotham many years ago. So many films and comics have adapted the Court of Owls, but no game has done so yet. And finally, Gotham Knights is doing what other games should have been doing for a while. Gotham Knights should have a chance with this storyline. As long as they don't have the Joker, they can prove that you don't need this iconic character to have Batman stories be very good. But what do you think about all this? Please let us know down in the comments below. And also, tell us your thoughts on Gotham Knights right now. You can pick up the game as it releases on October 25th for PC, Xbox, and PS5. Finally, a bug fix for Borderlands Handsome Collection was pushed, and it broke 3 games. Bug fixes for games are very common, especially nowadays, as they can be pushed through very easily. However, pushing them through for older games isn't as common as you would like to think, especially for games that are over 5 to 6 years old. Recently, with the popularity popularity Borderlands has been getting, it looks like Gearbox pushed through a new update for Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2, and even Borderlands the pre-sequel. While this fix was only implemented to update the game news to show how Borderlands the Handsome Collection was going on to next-gen platforms, it looks like it actually broke a part of the game. Without realizing the patch Gearbox pushed forward meant that some players were getting error messages and that the game was displaying weird characters in mission screens and even deleting save files. One of the worst bugs from this was an infinite loading screen, meaning that the player could not even get into a game. Of course, Gearbox addressed this pretty quickly and released the tweet saying that they're looking at the issues and investigating them, trying to figure out what exactly happened. They advise players cannot play the game until this is fixed, or at least stick away from the main games that were affected. Sadly, 3 of the main games were affected by this, so it looks like gamers can only play Borderlands 3 for the next few days until it's all fixed. The biggest issue with this is that it affected many streamers trying to play the game, as they couldn't get in or didn't feel safe carrying on with playthroughs that have been streaming. One of the biggest streamers for Borderlands right now, Jolts Dude, stopped streaming one day as he didn't want to risk his save file being deleted and also didn't want the bugs to affect the experience of his watchers. Luckily, it seems like the bugs are mainly fixed right now, as players are able to play and Gearbox are about to issue a statement on why it caused the bug. It's weird that such a simple fix for a game causes so many issues, but in the past, Borderlands has been plagued by things like this. One of the weirdest ones that still hasn't been fixed at this day is when Gearbox pushed through a fix for Borderlands 2. This was around the time when Borderlands 3 was about to go on sale for pre-order, and they pushed it update for the in-game news to share players that it was happening. With this patch, they just happened to change one of the gun's names without realizing. A gun was returning in Borderlands 3, but with a slightly different name, and for some reason, this patch brought through that name of the gun into the version of Borderlands 2. Even today, if you somehow get this gun, it has the new name and not the old one, and old save files that you reload will get this new name as well. It's such a weird little glitch, but the fans have taken on with it and are more than happy to joke about what happened with this Gearbox update. And that's the end of today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this latest video. If you did, would you please let us know down in the comments section below. It would be very helpful. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, and of course subscribe to the channel with the notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video.